big, booming, healthy colony of bees, they can usually hold their own and keep these pests out. The real danger? The place you really have to worry is with your excess combs. You know, the ones you've harvested and have sitting in storage. Any comb that isn't being actively patrolled by a hive full of bees is basically a wide-open invitation for a wax moth to come in and lay its eggs.
Okay, but here's the really good news. The solution is so simple, it's kind of beautiful. And a lot of us already have it right in our homes. Our best, most effective, and 100% non-chemical weapon against the wax moth at every single stage of its life, from egg to larva, is just good old-fashioned extreme cold. All right, let's start with what I'd call the gold standard. This is perfect if you've got a larger operation or really for anyone who wants a permanent set-it-and-forget-it solution. We're talking about the deep freeze method.
Now hold on, before you just start tossing frames in the freezer, here's a crucial pro tip. For this to work really well and for your combs to store perfectly long-term, you gotta prep them. Make sure they're as clean as you can get them. Get rid of any leftover honey or syrup or bee bread. A clean comb just stores better and you won't have to worry about things like mold down the line.
Okay, let's walk through it. It's super straightforward. First, get those prepped combs into a deep freezer. You need the temperature to be below freezing. That's 0 degrees Celsius or 32 Fahrenheit. And honestly, the colder the better. You're going to leave them in there for at least 3 full days. That ensures the cold gets all the way to the center of the comb. Then, and this part is absolutely key, the second you take them out, seal them up immediately in thick plastic bags. This stops any new moths from getting to them. After that, just store them in some empty boxes or a dedicated space and you're golden.
But what if you're thinking, I don't have a giant deep freezer lying around? Or maybe you only have a handful of frames you need to protect. No problem at all. There's a great alternative for smaller batches, the refrigeration method.
So for this, you just need your regular kitchen fridge. You'll want to wrap each comb really tightly in some thick aluminum foil, then just pop them in the fridge. But, and listen up because this is the huge difference, a refrigerator doesn't kill the wax moth eggs or larvae. It just kind of presses the pause button on their development. That means the second you pull those combs out into warmer air, those eggs can wake up and start developing again, so they have to stay cold. So let's just put these two methods side by side. The deep freeze is the knockout punch. It kills all stages of the wax moth, which means once they're treated and sealed, you can store your combs at room temperature. Refrigeration, on the other hand, is more like a holding pattern. It just slows everything down. It doesn't kill anything, so those combs have to stay in the fridge right up until you're ready to use them. One's for a permanent fix, the other's for temporary storage.
Now, we've spent a lot of time talking about what you should do, but it's just as important, maybe even more so, to talk about what you absolutely should not do. And that brings us to the most critical rule of all. You have to avoid chemicals.
This quote really says it all, doesn't it? Think of beeswax like a sponge, but for chemicals. It's a lipid, it's a fat, and it is incredibly good at absorbing and holding on to anything you put on it. And when I say holding on, I mean for a very, very long time. What goes into the wax stays in the wax.
And the consequences of that are just not good. Those chemical residues, they don't just go away. They can seriously harm the health of your bees when you put those frames back in the hive. They can leach into the honey, contaminating it, and any other products from the hive. At the end of the day, using chemicals on your combs puts the entire delicate ecosystem of your hive at risk. It's just not worth it.
So, what's the big takeaway here? It's simple. Your drawn comb is one of the most valuable things you have as a beekeeper. It represents literally thousands of hours of bee labor. Protecting it with cold treatment isn't just a smart move, it's the responsible one. You're protecting your investment, you're protecting the health of your bees, and you're protecting the purity of your incredible honey.
So, as you get ready for your next harvest, or you're planning out your season, I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. Looking at your own setup, your own apiary, and what you have available, how are you going to protect your combs this year?